Yo, what is going on, everybody? Carnage back here again, and I am finally getting around to my top 10 Marvel Legends of 2025. It's been a phenomenal year with a lot of amazing figures from, great MCU-based figures all the way to the comic stuff, even Gamerverse stuff, which I don't really have any Gamerverse stuff up here, mostly because they were either excessively great or kind of a miss. But enough about that. Now, these are not the actual top 10. These are just some ones I thought I would, you know, give a little shout out to. Miles Morales, if not for the fact that it basically reused, the complete lower half of Spider-Boy, would have been phenomenal. But regardless, still two pretty cool, badass figures. So I do recommend, if you see them, at least check them out and at least consider it. Now, I know I just reviewed this Daredevil, and it is a phenomenal Daredevil, and I do highly, highly recommend it, but, he was basically, one that I kind of had to cut off last second, just because there was another figure that I had that I was like, oh, I really like this one a little more than him, so, sadly, that's why he's not on. Mr. Fantastic. This is genuinely one of the most cool MCU figures I think we've had in a long time. And I mean, especially with the Pedro Pascal head, super, super cool. Really awesome wave of figures. Really, really do like all these MCU figures quite a bit. And then going on to the Red Guardian, originally he was in my, top 10 so far, which I posted in October, and he is still one of my favorite ones, but, just with the fact that, I got some more stuff in. He did get knocked down, sadly. This, Daken Wolverine, still an amazing figure and something that I'm super, super happy they made. Really, really cool, and definitely does help, fill out the Dark Avengers quite a bit. Only thing I wish they would do now is re-release the Iron Patriot, just because he's super expensive on the second market. And then going on to this really badass six-armed black suit Spider-Man, which I know this is the Dark Avenger Spider-Man, but I mean, this is just still one of the most phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal figures we got this year. Now, he doesn't really have the greatest range of movement, which is partially why I do have him here, but, still very, very badass. And then our baby boy Gambit right here. Very cool figure. I mostly did buy him just because of the fact that, I do have almost every single Age of Apocalypse figure. So I was just kind of like, why not? And let me just say, he did not disappoint. I really like the head sculpt, great movement on him. Just, just because I've never read Age of Apocalypse, don't really have much else to say about him. Just because, like I said, never read it. And then these final two. Now, this Black Widow is amazing, and if you don't have a Black Widow, I do recommend getting this one, but she is mostly a reuse from, the original one that we did get forever ago, and I thought I was going crazy about that, but yeah, they're on the exact same body, exact same, everything, so really, really sucks because I didn't realize this was a complete reuse. If I did, I probably would have waited on her for a bit, but regardless, still pretty cool and still very happy with it. And then going on to the Silver Surfer, kind of the same thing with the Black Widow. Now, he is mostly a reuse, but I mean, they did kind of retool it a little bit, like adding the hole in his back. And then also for mine, it does have that's his legs being straight. One of his feet is still kind of crooked. So mine's a little messed up somewhere. Unless I'm just kind of stupid. Yeah, I was kind of stupid. But it still doesn't fully line up perfectly, but, whatever. Still one of the most solid figures. And again, if you don't have it, I recommend getting it. Super badass. Really, really cool. But yeah. Let's just get on with it and go into the actual top 10. In the 10th spot, this one was kind of a surprise for me. This is the Gamerverse 2-pack Venom. I've never had a Venom on this body mold before, which is the Omega Red body mold, I believe. Now, other than it not being the normal, black Venom, it's still super, super amazing. I really did enjoy the alternate head it came with, but I really enjoyed the one with all the ooze slipping out of his mouth, on his tongue, and everything like that. Super badass figure. And it does still have some pinless joints on it, or, joints with pins in them, I mean. But it did give us a couple pinless ones, which is pretty cool. And this is definitely a very solid Venom if you do not have a Venom. So, very cool, really good sculpt, really good detailing, really good articulation. And, look at this. Like, this is phenomenal. And this 2-pack even came with a Captain America, which, it's one of the better Captain Americas that has, been released by Hasbro in forever. So, very, very cool. Now let's get on to the number 9 spot. In the number 9 spot, we do have another Venom, this one being Agent Venom. And this was my most anticipated figure at the beginning of the year, and it would be so much higher up if it had an ab, like a waist swivel, rather than just, the upper ab movement. If it would have had, movement right there, would have been definitely way higher on the list, just because, sculpt-wise, he's phenomenal. Articulation-wise, amazing, excluding that, like I mentioned. And, this head, plus the unmasked, Flash Thompson head, both phenomenal. Really do like it. He came with decent amount of accessories, and, just all around phenomenal, and a well-needed upgrade to the one we got forever ago, which was on a really, really bad body mold. Now, again, like I said, if this figure would have had that waist movement, would have been way, way higher. But still a solid figure, and if you do have the opportunity to get it, I do highly recommend it, because he is phenomenal. Now, let's get on to the number 8th place. Now, in the number 8th place, I do have Man-Wolf. And let me just say, this figure was a very big surprise to me, just because I don't really know anything about the character of Man-Wolf, other than, he is J. Jonah Jameson's son, and he gets all his powers from that amulet right there on his chest. But, this figure was just truthfully a very big surprise to me, just because with the head movement, articulation he had, the, accessories he had, just all around a very fun figure. And I do kind of like the weirder figures quite a bit. So, partially a reason why I do like him as well. But I really do think this is a solid figure. And I do highly recommend that if you guys are curious about it, that you do pick him up. Just because, he is a very decent figure with pretty cool accessories. Because he came with a sword, a bow, a couple alternate hands. And was he worth paying the... I got mine for $10 off. But, $40 is kind of a bit for, something like this. But, this is mostly brand new sculpt from what I've been seeing. The head, I feel like they've reused from G.I. Joe figure. But, other than that, solid figure. Now, let's get on to the 7th place. Now, going on to the 7th place is a figure I've actually bought a second one of, and that is the Thing. This is the MCU Thing, and let me just say, this genuinely one of the best MCU figures they released this entire year. Just all around phenomenal sculpt work, detailing, like the head too, very John Byrne-esque. And they used the soft goods very well with this, and by soft goods I mean, like the rubbery torso, just because, still gives, very good articulation, and doesn't really inhibit any of it, because now we can go all the way back there, forward, stuff like that. And kind of like what I did, at least on my TikTok, like the head from that and that actually fit, so then you can do random stuff like that, like Pedro Hulk, which, truthfully, one of the funniest things I think you can really do with this. But I mean, all around solid figure. And if you don't have a, regular Marvel Legends thing, this one definitely would be a very good placeholder until you get a comic book based one. Just because, like I said, he's very comic book looking, but he also looks very real at the same time. Which, I mean, solid as usual. Now, let's get into the 6th place. And in 6th place, this one I am very, very kind of surprised that I don't have it higher, just because this was my most anticipated one, like, for the longest time. But I will say, though, that the paint on, at least his weapons does kind of peel off kind of easy. Haven't really used the swords like much, but you can still kind of see a little bit of paint rub. So that is a downside to this, especially since, some people are paying excessive amounts of money for it, which really sucks. And he also did come with Dupe, who I misplaced and I can't remember where he is, and by that I mean he fell down behind my shelf and I can't really grab him at the moment. And I mean, he did come with some very solid stuff, accessory-wise, like he came with lots of guns, an alternate half unmasked head, which wish he would have come with a fully unmasked head. But I mean, other than that, like, very solid articulation, very good. Deadpool butt, firm and perky as usual. And truthfully, just a very well-needed upgrade. Did he need a maximum, though? Probably not. Because, this could have been something they could have just released by itself, and, everyone probably would have been way more happy. But then again, we wouldn't have gotten as many accessories with him. So, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. And I know that if you remove the belt, he does get way better articulation. But in my opinion, very decent figure. Do I recommend buying him for the price? Not really. But, still a decent figure, and I do recommend if you see it on clearance to definitely pick it up, just because it's a very cool Deadpool, and, everyone needs a little, pool in their lives. So, take us away, Deadpool. And now we are into the top 5. So, taking 5th place from the 2-pack with Thanos, we have the Psylocke. Now, this genuinely one of the best female figures we've gotten. Just, sculpt-wise, articulation, like, just all the hidden, things on this figure, like, right there and up there, plus the butterfly joints. Now, the only downside is this figure cannot really look up super well, and, I mean, mine does kind of have a little bit of a blemish right there, which, I'm not too picky on, just because, it kind of makes mine a little more unique. And, really decent accessories, this one being my favorite. And I was truthfully kind of skeptical on this 2-pack when it first came out, just because people were scalping it excessively hard, which, ridiculous, if I do say so myself. And, yeah, just all around very decent figure. Like, I mean, like, it's not my personal favorite just because I don't really know anything about Psylocke, other than her brother is Captain Britain, and I think she's the new Captain Britain or something. I think she was Captain Britain at one point. But I mean, all around, very good head sculpts, very good articulation, and definitely a very solid figure for an X-Men display. So I do recommend that if you don't have it, try to find it, but I know it is very sought after, so it may take a little bit of time, but I mean, it is worth it, I think. Anyway, let's get on to 4th place. So, into the 4th place spot is actually one of the newer figures I actually just reviewed, and that is the Phantom Rider. Now, I don't really know much about Phantom Rider other than what happened in the movie with Johnny Cage / what little research I did before my review. But all around, a very solid figure, very fun to pose around, really cool, 6 shooters, very cool sculpt, everything else like that. And all around, just one of the, better figures that has come out this year. Really, really cool, really do like it. And, I mean, for you customizers, Like, I mean, in truth, you could probably make this like a Moon Knight, cowboy, which I feel like that's what this would be, a really cool alternate, Moon Knight figure. I kind of had a brain fart for a moment. I do apologize. But all around, very solid figure. This is on the Vulcan body, I believe. But, the Vulcan body may be the new Bucky Cat mold, but I mean, it works so well. Like, articulation-wise, ab crunch, everything like that, just all around pretty solid. And truthfully, one of my favorite figures, if not for, the first 3 positions, this guy would definitely be at least second to third place. But, with the other stuff that I have, can't really, put him there. But I'm getting distracted. Anyway, let's get on to our bronze place position. Now, for third place, I could not pick one of these guys over the other, so I just decided to mash them together just because they're both part of the Gamerverse 2-pack line. Wolverine here came with Silver Samurai, which that Silver Samurai is meh, in my opinion. The original release, still the better of the two. And then this Captain America, which was the truthful, quintessential Captain America. Like, it's both classic and kind of modern looking at the same time, in my opinion, with just all-around phenomenal articulation, great head sculpts, and a pretty interesting effect that goes around the shield, which I probably will never use that effect piece, just because, never played Marvel vs. Capcom, so it doesn't really mean much to me. And this Wolverine. Like, it's a bit big for a Wolverine figure, if you ask me, but, I mean, claws are great, articulation is great, I really do like it. I do wish he came with double-jointed elbows, though, but, I mean, other than that, all around, very solid, looks amazing. Head sculpt-wise, pretty cool as well. And, yeah, definitely a very welcomed addition to my X-Men / Wolverine display, because I am a bit of a Wolverine fan. So, both of these are very good upgrades, especially if you don't have either of these. Both very, very good, and you do get, a really cool Venom with the Captain America, and a pretty mid-tier Silver Samurai with the Wolverine. But, still, both of these phenomenal, and couldn't recommend them more than enough. Now, let's get on to our second place, aka silver, with our boy and surprising Marvel Legend of the year, because I truthfully never expected them to do anything with ROM. And this ROM genuinely has been amazing. Like, I mean, great head sculpt, great articulation, all around just one of the most unique and interesting characters we've had in Marvel Legends form ever. And I believe this is actually the only Marvel Legend he's had, because I know they made ROM toys like forever ago, but this is actually the first official ROM Marvel Legend. And let me just say, they went all in with this, and it definitely shows. From, the hidden joint in the leg that, makes it twist, to the ab crunch, to the upper torso being able to move, just all around very, very solid. And I genuinely was pleasantly surprised, and had it not been for first place, he definitely would have been first place. I still know nothing about ROM, but I mean, this figure all around just super fun to pose, super fun to play with, and everything else under the sun. Just super great, and definitely excited to see my friend Sour Toast TV, go check him out, finish his stop motion, because he does actually have ROM in it. So can't wait to see what he does for that stop motion. Super excited about it. And yeah, let's get to our number one position, aka gold. So, same thing with this one like third place. I cannot physically pick one of them, and truthfully, just having them on separate numbers would have been a bit of a travesty, in my opinion. the Netflix, or not even Netflix anymore, the Daredevil Born Again Marvel Legends figures of Daredevil and Punisher. Let me just say, both of these guys are phenomenal. Truthfully, two of the best MCU figures I think we've gotten this year. All around, great articulation, especially on this Daredevil, just because, like, he even has like a secret mild butterfly joint, which is super cool. Great articulation, great head sculpt, great everything. And I know we've seen a lot of people turning this into a custom black suit, you know, Daredevil, and then this Punisher, I mean, I will say, the belt does kind of make it a little difficult to move his torso joint, but I mean, other than that, I love this figure. Truthfully, amazing, great articulation, phenomenal John Bernthal head sculpt, really great minor details all over this figure, and truthfully, one of, if not the best, movie Punisher figure we've had in forever. Now, that is my top 10 of the year. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and, give me your feedback on it, telling me, who you would have had in what position or, whatnot. Now, with that being said, this probably will be my last video of 2025, unless, I decide to, live stream or something, which is probably a possibility. But for regular videos, I'm probably going to be taking a break until, the new year, because I do plan on posting this video at around Christmas time. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for all that you've done for me this year, all the new people that have joined, which we've actually gone up an excessive amount since the beginning of the year. So, shout out to every single one of you. And yeah, we're very close to 600 subscribers as well. I think, at least the last time I checked, we were 7 subscribers away. So, shout out to all of you for that. Genuinely one of the greatest experiences of my life this year. Has been a bit, on again, off again for me. But, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.